They know how to scout. They know how to get into these fantastic situations where they can get a lot of eliminations.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that. You already know me. You already know I like madness, so it wouldn't be a surprise to you that I'm going to say Sanhok is my favorite match. So. Yeah. But what I am going to be looking at here is what's going to happen in Picado. I mean, in the first Miramar that we got a chance to play, it was Team Seoul lost 3 players in Picado to Box Gaming. I want to see if they're going to be able to adjust to that. We saw what Team Seoul was able to do in that previous match in Erangel. They were able to get a lot of the just major center stuff, but how are they going to start?
For sure. I want to see what this plane path gives us, though. We are going all the way south of Los Lunes, all the way up to the north side, close to La Carroria. And this opens up so many things. The vast majority of our teams here, they're going to be able to get into their usual drops or at least get a car and move in there. So let's see if we're going to see any hot drops, if we're going to see any contests, or potentially any gatekeeps. And obviously, the first circle, where do we go? Already early, Damonkey out. They're going to maintain a lot of control on the southwest side. Let's see how much they're going to be having. Highest damage so far. Not a surprise considering that they have had such a good performance in the first couple of games here. Vampire, quite impressive. Longest elimination here. That's where the change of the talk happens here. 375 meters and 373 meters. That is really damn close. And 2 players on top of the knockouts as well. Ravenclaw and Wave, of course, looking really sharp there. And the nade limbs, that's all Vampire here, 7.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that. I mean, with currently the way they're performing, as we're seeing the map right there, doesn't look to me like Team Seoul wanted to go Picado again with Box Gaming. And that's a smart thing, okay? You want to be able to get all those points. For everybody currently watching at home, let's watch PMWI together. Complete daily missions to earn points. Once enough points are accumulated, tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding rewards.
Yeah, and participate in the event solo or team up with other players, both is okay. Team up could get the reward more easy if you're able to win some of those games here. But let's take a look at this game here and how the circle is going to play out. I want to point out, though, Box is obviously, they're not going to get contested again.
Yep.
Because in the Picado arena, there's a boxing arena, and Box is obviously the best at boxing. So let's be completely obvious about that. It's a northeastern circle, 7, though, and that's a really interesting one because we have a lot of open areas. We have a lot of high ground areas. So I'm really curious to see how these teams, they're going to make their way. And there's a lot of teams outside the circle on our western side, south and north. So a lot of teams and a lot of pressure is going to be happening coming in from the southwest side of the circle here. So if the clever teams, and this is where I really love it, if the clever teams are really clever, they're going to take their long rotations on the southeast side or on the northeast side and try to get in on the northeastern side of the circle here because the vast majority of the teams are on the southwest side of this current circle.
And talking about clever teams, I want to see what kind of rotation Dam 1 Kia is going to end up doing here. As they are currently looting in Valle del Mar, they're going to have so many options, right? And something that they got to keep in mind, if we go back to the first Miramar that we saw, a lot of these teams were playing that edge circle. And it was, I mean, it wasn't even close. Everybody was pretty much on the edge. So if you wait too long to try to get into that circle, that rotation is going to be super, super hard to get in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the really interesting one here. That's why I love Miramar, because we're going to be seeing that. Here, back-to-back, your hometown boys looting in Montenegro by themselves, not inside the circle currently, but they're going to have a really easy way in. They could go all the way to San Martin, my hometown, if they want to get an easy way in. The question is, does Stalwart stay? Does Falcon stay? Or do they try to take some of these more prevalent good compounds that we know that is close to the Hacienda area?
You say easy rotation for back-to-back, and I know the viewers currently can't see this, but if for some reason they take a little bit too long, Enigma Galaxy could kind of cut them off, and then it goes from that easy rotation to absolute madness because they're also going to have to worry about the other team that's currently below that with Andrew and Vampire. I mean, that's a team that right now, with the way they're performing, I don't want to run into them. I'm pretty sure back-to-back definitely doesn't want to run into them.
And I think that's definitely something we're going to be seeing further into the tournament is we're going to see once we've done with day number 1 here, the teams are going to go back. They're going to look at all these rotations. They're going to look at all these plays. They're going to be like, all right, these teams are actually making the same rotations. So we could potentially gatekeep them or camp their rotations.
Yeah, and you were talking about all the area that's up in that's just open on the top east.
Yeah.
4 rivals right now taking full advantage of that, and now we're finally getting into a fight here. RSG against more of a team that didn't really perform that well in the first 2 matches. Miramar being one of them, and they end up losing Francie with their teammates nowhere to be seen. That's a good pickup right there for RSG.
Yeah, Regan.s again with these early fights here, they're really taking advantage of that. lightning fast in that situation, and they're going to be able to close this one out. They are not inside the circle currently. They are just south of the circle in the southern side, close to Los Leones or inside Los Leones. Now TJB, let's see what they're able to do. If they're able to have a crazy one for this situation. Obviously the higher compound was fantastic for them, but right now they're far away. Box also in a rotation, currently going closer. They are quite center already, and potentially going to be able to take some compounds. And the crazy thing is, to me, is that obviously there's a lot of compounds available, but we are playing 18 Team 7. And throughout the games we've seen so far today, we're not seeing as many splits. We're not seeing as many greedy splits, these 2-2 splits and all these 1-1-2 splits, where all the teams are getting really greedy because there are just this more amount of players, more amount of teams that are going to contest your compounds. So we see a lot more teams play closely knitted together, making sure that they stay 4 guys alive towards the late game, because as we've seen in the vast majority of the games so far, the teams with 1 extra guy just continues to win these fights, because obviously if you're in a 2 versus 1, 3 versus 2, 4 versus 3, you have the upper hand by default.
Yeah, and I mean, you're saying that we just literally saw it in the final ending of that previous Erangel. You saw Vampire, they did have 1 less player, and it kind of ended up hindering them. I feel like if Vampire would have had those 4 players, they would have definitely ended up winning that. And we do see TJB making sure that some of the players from Box Gaming back off. They don't want to be anywhere near them. Actually, Vampire Esports backs off. Don't come near us. That's what they're trying to say right now. And you were talking about earlier of all the open area that's on the top east. I mean, 4 Rivals was able to take big advantage of Cruz del Valle. And then you have USG as well, El Hazard, just looting slowly, not having to worry about anything. And something that we're seeing completely different from the first Miramar is nobody's wanting to play this edge, okay? Everybody's wanting to go straight to the middle.
Yeah, exactly. We see Box, we see CJB right now. Some of them have really high priority compounds here with the concrete building and the warehouse in the intersection. They're close southeast of Hacienda del Patron.
Ooh.
And Aton and Wildcats are in a fight. See what they're able to do.
We've seen what Boren can do, but now he's gonna have to be careful because it looks like Bruno from Aton Esports is wanting to take this fight. He is gonna have Ray 77 with him to back him up. Can Bruno release the screen and at least get some damage and knock him? He is able to get that knock. Bruno coming up big. Insy's going to be able to confirm that too. He's got to watch out for the other player. And guess what? Some of the other players from the other team are also going to be able to push up. Wildcats being able to try to get that angle. You can see Lux right there. And it is going to backfire. This is just going south right now for Aton Esports.
Lux pushing in, super aggressive, trying to get more control of this, trying to deny the rest, and it's happening. It's so well played by Wildcats. And Aton is out in 18th place. They do get 1 with them. 1 elimination and 1 point secured for them here.
You can see that Aton Esports ended up getting that knock. And then they were like, okay, we got the Ilum. They got a little bit too complacent. You got to be able to finish that, and you got to be ready because you know that team is going to be coming. They don't want to lose. Nobody wants to lose players right now at this stage. And just go back and watch that battle. Okay, Aton Esports, you got to be able to learn all. Marv, Rocky right now trying to be sneaky. He knows that there's going to be a buggy right there. Oh. This is going to be an interesting fight between these 2 players.
He has information. Question is, can he hit it? Oh my god, that is on point. A lot of damage done. Now, let's see what they decide to do. Regan.s, he's going to, oh my god, that is so clever. Repositions the car, gets out. Morph could completely disengage from this fight. That's a good another nade. Let's see the next circle pop. It's coming up slowly here. This could be a huge one. We still have teams that are trying to get in from literally everywhere where we saw them drop.
And then you have Damwon Kia. I mean, I think they're still thinking of that previous Miramar. Everybody was just playing edge. They're playing it super, super slow. I don't blame them.
Oh.
And this is going to work out wonders for them.
That is going to work great.
Obviously, they don't know this, but they have so much space to rotate into. I'm hoping they don't decide to do one of those rotations you were talking about earlier. And guess what? RSG against Morph. Morph should have at least an angle towards the east of RSG, but those smoke grenades are just going to be able to favor them. I think Morph is going to end up losing Rocky.
That's unfortunate. They're going to go down 1 player more. They're going to be just 2 now. So they're going to be in a salvage mission to see if they can get more out of this game. RSG is going to get healed up fully. They're going to be completely fine as well. And they're going to be moving in for that too. Vampire could potentially hear Morph rotating. I love this circle here. We are going to go on the western side. We're closing up Cinder and Hacienda, and we've had some fantastic endings around that area because it becomes very urban once we get closer to San Martin and Hacienda. The question is, do we stay on the open field side on the east, or do we go urban on the west side here and maintain some of the high ground that we have south of the San Martin too? Now, Team Falcons have had a really good performance. The home turf heroes here. And let's see if they're going to be able to continue that.
Yeah, they definitely want to be able to continue on that energy that we're able to put out earlier. So we are going to be looking at a replay here from
again.
RG. What happened? Rocky was able to get a knock, but I mean, DD being able to just back him up, he's going to end up getting the knock. And you see, Fajar, I thought he was going to maybe get the off angle, but
nope.
See, it seems like it ended up backfiring for him throwing that smoke.
Oh, that's a good amount of shots coming in, Yusuf, and you can hear the crowd go wild. Amazing, super well played by Team Falcons and Yusuf in this situation. They are able to close this one out. They're close to the water treatment, so they are also in a very, very good position and on the terrain. Now, Fall Rivals, Labby here on the high ground. Now, Damar's going to try to finish off, get the elimination points and secure that. And you can hear the crowd go wild, cheering for them. That is great. The first grenade elimination, Yusuf is able to close that one off. Yeah, Team Falcons able to step it up.
What a surprise, honestly. I did not expect that. I didn't really think this team was going to be doing that well, and I'm so happy that they are, as we do see Team Seoul being able to get that player, Lappy, I think it was, from 4 Rivals. There you go. He was trying to get that angle. Guess what? He ended up backfiring. Team Seoul was able to sneak up on him, and right now Team Seoul with 1 Ilum. You love to see it, and I want to see what Team Seoul is going to end up doing. In the previous Erangel, you saw them being able to take that center of the circle. He ended up being a little bit too much for them. And right now, when I'm actually looking at circle, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Stalwart Esports. They're pretty much smack down the middle, and that's a team that, you know, if they end up getting pushed, if they end up getting third party, that's with the talent and the skill that those players have, they can back it up. And they might end up getting a bunch of villains.
For sure, and rotations are coming in hard on the eastern side of the map too now. Falcon does see Soul in the distance. And cheering is coming on for Falcon in the arena. All right, circles closing in. As you can see on the map here, I was talking about on the eastern side, southeast, a lot of teams are going to be fighting for the same terrain here. If they don't get a shift in this situation here, 7, it's going to be really rough for them, and they're going to have to be doing big rotations. A lot of teams are already occupying some of the best compounds in the center too. Box, Falcon, Stalwart, Pivo, Keat, Stars, and TJB is sitting damn pretty right now. Let's see the next pop mall. Oh my God, it's going to go north here and close out on the Hacienda area, but we have a huge ridge that is in play, and the water treatment could potentially also be crashed, and the terrain that's going to be able to be taken from that is going to be good. Now, Virtual Gaming Squad putting on pressure onto Damankia. Oh, Fabian has to heal.
Damankia barely being able to get off that. And this is what ended up happening here with Team Falcon. I mean, beautiful. You can see those shots. Yusuf, you are just something else. He got the nade Ilum, and he also was able to put up those shots with the AKM. And I was going to say, you mentioned it too, that southeast and the east is just going to be absolute managed with all those teams trying to push in. And I know that everybody in the crowd was screaming Team Falcon, Team Falcon. I was actually screaming urban area, urban area. And it ended up working out wonders for us.
All right, yeah, especially here with this situation where they're going to be moving from the southeast. The circle did go slightly northwest, so the big rotations is basically the last time we're going to see those. They're going to be trying to go up on the northern side and try to take some of that terrain that could potentially be open on the northwest. The question is, are all of them going to be able to do so, or are they going to decide to do so? Donuts coming off the win here, Donuts USG. They are one of those teams that are looking like they need a big rotation.
And with them, oh man, I'm looking at this, the rotation that Damwon Kia is currently doing. I wish they would have just stayed left, because right now they're about to run into just a wall of teams that are going to be fighting with each other. Vampire Esports sees somebody from TJB. He's not going to be able to move, but guess what? Stone, being the smart player that he is, he's just destroying all those tires where that player's not going to be able to go anywhere. And here we go.
Wildcats?
What are you going to be able to do, Wildcats? We've seen what you guys can do before. I love hearing the crowd. I miss it. And here we go. RSG. Almost being able to knock somebody there from TJB, but TJB getting the angles too, and being able to finish off RSG. This is huge for TJB.
Massive game for them. Maybe they're going to be able to get the rest off as well on Zhao. Question is, how are they going to do so with Bucks staring down? They have a bit of a smoke, so the utility is going to come out, and it's going to work out for them. Oh, Bucks in the Hacienda compound. Huge compound, plenty of loot, so if they need to refresh their vest or helmets, they're going to be fine to do so. Now, Wildcats, more rotations coming in. Damwon Kia too. Are they going to drive straight into them? And the drive-by is going to happen. They are. Forrest took some damage. Oh, Fabian's going to go down now. X-Ray, what are you able to do here for the Wildcats?
And Wildcats, I mean, they have the players behind them too. They need to be careful. They were able to get that knock, and I think that was huge. Can he get that knock? He's not. He's actually going to get third party by USG. What's happening here? Damwon Kia, though, can they secure this? We know they love those DBS. This is the perfect time for him. It does not end up working out for him. Wildcats being able to come out on top and securing some great amount of elims for them. Right now, for them, 7 elims, Avenger. Yeah,
that's a rough situation for them. Having to fight outside the blue here. They just want, both of the teams wanted the rotation now. See in the minimap, it's a northern shift towards the water treatment. And that's going to be rough for the teams on the south. A lot of teams are on the south side of that big road there, 7. Let's see how they manage to get into the zone. Oh, that is Wildcats just simply in a rough situation. Yeah, and Juni, oh my God, also putting out the utility, securing that Damwon Kia. It's just mutual destruction, basically.
Yeah, the Foex from Wildcats. I think he went out a little bit too long trying to cook that grenade, and he forgot that he was playing in this zone. He ended up backfiring for him. And right now, guess what? We have another push. Enigma Galaxy. This is a team that we've currently been looking at for the past 2 matches. Are they going to be able to do anything? They're not. They're actually going to end up losing players, and they decide to back off. And with this new circle, I'm intrigued to see how back-to-back is going to be able to just get inside that circle. And on top of that, I mean, Star Wars Esports, they really haven't had to do much. We haven't seen them much, but guess what? I'm pretty sure they're going to set themselves up nicely for the final one.
Yeah, the teams that are looking good, really good right now is Falcon, it's Soul, his 4 rivals. Enigma Galaxy in a huge fight here with Vampire Esports, taking down Fluke. Let's see how many more he can get. Oh, it's going to be found. That is so unfortunate. Lord goes down, and that is Enigma Galaxy out in 16th. And now, the coming minutes here, we're going to see so many more teams falling because there's simply not enough terrain to accommodate all these teams.
Yeah, I mean, with the 18 teams that we have right now, I mean, not right now, but we start with, you're just seeing a completely different PUBG Mobile Esports than what we're used to. And I'm actually loving it. I'm loving all this kind of fights that we're getting here towards the end. And going back to Enigma Galaxy, I know they ended up losing there, but I did appreciate that that player tried to get that elim. He was not expecting the other player to come in from that door, but hey, it happens, okay? It's Vampire Esports. You can't really be too harsh on yourself with the way Vampire Esports is playing right now.
All right, Donuts of this great game found some terrain inside the circle here. You can see on the minimap there inside on the northeast side. I have an idea that Virtual Gaming Squad is over there on the ridge that they have to push up on to once we see these next circles pop. Also a little bit live. You can see these players. Some are playing with 3 fingers, some are playing with 4. And most of them are playing with more than 2 for sure. See how it works out for Vivo Keat. Adrian on screen.
I was going to say, I'm not sure about that spot there for Star Wars Esports. I'm hoping that they do decide to go somewhere else because Vivo Kid is just currently zeroed in on them. And you can also see back-to-back just being on the horizon behind them too. This is going to be interesting what's happening to them because Vivo Kid is going to have to push at some point. They are outside that circle.
Yeah, the question is, do they drive past? Do they try to drive closer? Do they breach them? What's the situation with this? And now another situation with Box and Vampire Esports sharing. That's a nice shot from Stone straight into the helmet. It's going to save him. Now Juni is going to be trying to get into the circle. Let's see how deep he can go. Ooh. He cannot go deeper than that. That is Damwon Kia out in 14th with 2 eliminations.
Yeah, that rotation from Damwon Kia ended up backfiring for them. But Stone, being able to go from one team to another team, snapping on them, doesn't matter which gun he's using. And guess what? We talked about Vivo Kid having to push in, and they decided to just, they didn't decide to drive by. They decided to just fully push into Star Wars Esports. And guess what? Back-to-back is going to be able to try to third-party this here, as we do see the fight ensuing. Star Wars Esports trying to back him up with some utilities. Grenades. Oh, action, please. Hit another one, because that was almost on the money.
Yeah, it's almost like the director out there saying 1, 2, 3 action. Try to get some of that and put it on. That's a lot of damage being on to Cielo. And that is him out. That is Vivo Kid out in 13. 0 elims, considering that their early positioning was actually really good.
Yep.
Stalwart's able to defend it. I'm sure that they could have been worked out better if they decided to go for the full crash, right? Rather than try to get little bit of an edge inside the circle in the middle and a little dip. It really doesn't work out that well for them. But now that also means that back-to-back, Stalwart, all these teams, they have to move across the street and try to get into some of these new compounds. All the terrain, there's a lot of open fields as well on the south side of Morph and Falcon here too.
And I was surprised there, J-Way actually decided to take a shot on this Stalwart Esports player. Why would you do that? They didn't even, I don't think they even knew you were there. Just focus on getting inside that circle. Don't focus on trying to get some cheeky kills because that's just not going to happen.
Virtual Gaming Squad. Let's see what you can do in this. Donuts are trying to get in, but Virtual Gaming Squad is putting pressure onto them. One shot. Putting out a lot of shots. Donuts is trying to sneak in on the northern side here, above Falcons. And Virtual Gaming Squad, they are putting so much pressure onto Donuts right now. They want them off this high ground here. They are not inside the next circle, but they're waiting for long enough. Maybe it's because the Virtual Gaming Squad wants this new area that Donuts has decided to take. Let's see what happens with them. Naruto goes down. Lin goes down to the play zone. And Schweppes finds action from Stalwart where they have to rotate. Missile, trying to survive for as long as they can. And now Virtual Gaming Squad, they had to leave. Yep. That means that Donuts are able to survive.
Yeah, with Virtual Gaming Squad, they were waiting to see what was going to happen there with Donuts. Well, guess what? After Donuts, they are going to have Team Falcon. And Team Falcon right now is on a tear. Even though they are currently just sitting quietly, they're making sure they back up everybody. You do see Team Seoul back-to-back just decide to send it. J7 being able to push it. Is he going to be able to make it? He's not able to make it. You can see a shot being able to secure that element. And that is huge because if he would have made it in there, oh, man, he would have been able to get some angles and it would have backfired absolutely for Team Seoul.
Yeah, let's see what this next circle happens with. All the teams are being pushed in. 52 inside the gas station. That is another player gone down. That is very unfortunate for back-to-back. They get 1 elim and only 12th place, so not a lot of points from them for this game here. Vampire is being breached, and they are under siege by Stalwart. Meanwhile, Box is also third-partying them on the edge here. That's a good amount of pressure. 52 also in the kill feed, as you see. Now Stoned. What can he do in this situation here? Fluke. Taking some damage. This is kind of clever by Stone here. Try to get out.
Talk about the moves there from Stone. Being able to throw in the Molotov, make sure they back him up. Getting some knocks too with the Molotov, and he's able to rotate and secure those elims. Huge play out of Vampire Esports. That's the fight that we've been wanting to see. And guess what? Box Gaming realizes, hey, this might be the time. If we're going to third party, let's third party right now. Box Gaming is starting to push the action.
Yeah, perfect time for them to box everyone in this house, the longhouse here. Stalwart trying to get out. Still a knock in there. Stone cannot confirm it. He's outside. Top is on the other side. He healed up. The circle does go south, and that means a mayhem on the northern side. Falcon even has to move. Morph have to move. This is going to be an open field ending.
Yeah, with TJB currently having a little bit of cover there, it's going to be interesting. Stalwart Esports is going to be able to outlast Vampire Esports, but guess what? Box Gaming, this is going to be interesting how Action is going to be able to hold them off. I'm pretty sure he has already used a lot of utilities earlier with the fight with Vampire Esports. Box Gaming playing him slowly and finding the angles, and he does. That's Woo being able to eliminate their Stalwart Esports. It's okay. 7 elims. Stalwart Esports is not at another third place that we're expecting out of you, but I respect the amount of points that you guys are being able to put up in regards to elims.
All right, look at that. Donuts with the revenge onto Virtual Gaming Squad. Basically another case of mutual destruction, and Virtual Gaming Squad just taken down as well. Donuts too. This is a rough situation for them. They had to get out of the north side, but they can't. They go down. TJB in this situation, healing off. He's actually inside the zone. 52 have to move. Box is on the southern side of this circle here. They actually have a lot of control. Could be a great game for Box.
It definitely can, and I think with the way right now Team Falcon set up, it could possibly be another top 3 finish for Team Falcon. They still have all the 4 players, and they're currently positioning themselves perfectly. I just want to make sure they don't end up getting knocked from any of the third parties. You can see TJB, even though he was healing, he decided to stand up a little bit more and just keep an eye on who might end up pushing him. Team Falcon needs to be careful with that. More trying to make the push. They're going to get aggressive, but Team Falcon is just on another level, being able to secure that elim and moving upwards and forwards. That right there might have just secured them at least a top 3.
And another great performance on Miramar for Falcons. I love what I'm seeing from this squad here. Yusuf finding Pharaoh, 52, in shambles right now. Question is, do they have enough utility, enough smoke to make this next one in here. TJB also a little bit of a nuisance for them. He's down here in this little hay bale shack, and they could potentially lose one player to it.
And I think it's been so long since the TJB player has actually done something that he might end up surprising the Team Falcon players. And yes, I noticed that too. Team Falcon, they saw Box Gaming all the way on the other side, and they're taking shots. The aggressiveness of this teams, and right now 52 is, oh man, it's not looking good for you. Okay, you have two teams looking at you, and yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to survive from that. But the TJB player, the one that's currently being able to survive, he might come into play later, unless Team Falcon knows that he's there. But I'm not sure, Avenger.
The question is, how much utility do they have? That's the decider of this one here. Now we see nades coming in. It is coming, a good nade. They're never alone from Falcon Esports. Finds him. That's TJB out. Another good performance from them now. But it means we're down to Box and Team Falcons.
And this is going to benefit, if Box Gaming can get into the zone, is going to benefit him in a big way. You can see Team Falcon, though, it's not slowing down. They're making the push. They didn't know that TJB player was there. They eliminated him. They were like, you know what? We need to take that spot, and we need to take it out and keep on moving forward. You can see the 52 Esports player, though, being able to get the angle on both of the teams. Oh, that's going to be huge.
I counted him out, basically. I didn't think he was going to survive that, but the players are not focused in on him. They thought they're one of the other teams potentially to take him out, so Falcons slightly forgot about him. And let's see how far he can take this one for 52. 8 eliminations for them. He finds a Box player, takes him down. Can he secure second place for 52?
52 Esports currently just ruining the party for Box Gaming. We thought it was just going to be a Box Gaming versus Team Falcon versus. It's not going to happen. But guess what? Break from Box Gaming. He has to give out his position, just trying to back him up. And Team Falcons right now, they're setting themselves up perfectly. Team Falcons currently looking to take this win, ladies and gentlemen. They know where that player from 52 Esports is at. Can they take it? You see Yusef leading the charge. They know exactly where he's at. Here comes the grenades.
Finds one.
Oh, Vaz being able to actually back them up. Yusef right there. Can he get the knock? You're so close to it. You're full health, and he's not, ladies and gentlemen. Team Falcon being able to get the win for Saudi Arabia. Woo!
They're able to convert this one, step it up, and do an even better game on the second game of Miramar today here.